Excellent. Thanks, Dustin. Hopefully you all are seeing a map on your screen now. Can I get a nod, Dustin? Hopefully. All right, good deal. Thank you. So hi, thank you. Glad to be speaking with you this afternoon. This is, as Dustin said, one of the resources that's going to be available to the teams as you're trying to understand those two very distinct but connected tasks of this effort. Where is the broadband infrastructure? Where is the broadband infrastructure not? And what digital equity issues are our community facing and where? So this is one of the ways to visualize that. And I'm just going to walk you through the tool and kind of click some things on and off for how it will work. And then eventually you'll get to play with one of your own in your planning process. But this, as our example, is Lewis County. So the map starts out with this tab over here on the left that will explain a real high level how to use the map. And then you use this bar up at the top to click through the different folders. So there's 5 folders on this one. The second one is layers pertaining to anchors, partners, and points of interest. So you would be able to, on your map, click, for example, libraries, and be able to see where the libraries are within your community and have some easy contact information in there to help facilitate engagement from these different organizations, if you so choose. Hospitals, fire stations, you all can read, so I won't click on every one of these. But then it will also have things like, who are the electric utilities in your area? These would be the pole owners, so you can see how this would impact understanding paths forward for broadband infrastructure development. There's also, on this one, is more of a local piece of information. So this is one of their local ISPs, Toledo Tel. And you heard Dustin mention that there's the base map, but then there's also going to be an opportunity to load your own local data in here as you collect it. So this would be an example of what that might look like. A service provider saying this is an area that we are serving in. I actually was talking to Toledo Tel earlier. They're interested in putting their actual fiber route on this map so they can see what areas have fiber to the home connectivity. So that's the kind of data that you might be able to collect during your community engagement and start developing a pretty robust tool for understanding where broadband infrastructure is and is not, and who the partners would be in fixing that. So then I'll jump onto the second tab, which is indicators of need. So this is, again, another way to maybe understand where infrastructure is and isn't. This, for example, is the State Broadband Office speed test data. We also have UCLA data on here. And then this might be a local piece of information. Lewis PUD conducted a study where they collected survey speed tests. So this would be their local data that they might add on to their local community map. There's a lot more here. And what's neat about it is when you click on all these layers, there's more information in there. So this can become a really powerful tool for understanding these different aspects of both infrastructure and digital divide. The last of the layer tabs is infrastructure and boundaries. So again, you click through these and it will help show you where different aspects that might be related to broadband or digital equity exist in your community. One of the local attributes that's on this map are some service zones that Lewis PUD developed as an infrastructure planning exercise to understand what solving infrastructure barriers might look like for their community. So I think in the ideal solution where it would be great if everyone got to at the end of this planning effort might be having areas like this on your map that identify where infrastructure might be an issue for your community. And then there might be other areas that identify where there's some digital equity boundaries, affordability, access issues that are happening in your community. And then you can target those and come up with solutions that might work for that area. Then the very final tab on here is this is more just the nuts and bolts. You can print off your maps, share your maps, change the base maps. So that just more gets into the nitty-gritty of things. But like Dustin said, these will be available for counties, tribal nations. Folks who are engaging in this effort will be able to have this initial base map and then have the opportunity to upload their local data into it.